Regulus will be further down to the horizon, and Venus will be farther away from it. But the planets, this is like this month and the next month is the month of the planets. Because low in the west, again, Mercury's still there as a faint, as a first magnitude star, I think, about as bright as Regulus. Venus will be very brilliant at minus 4.4. In the south will be Jupiter, nice bright white, minus 2.5, about 2.2 actually now. And then in the southeast will be Saturn, which is about 0 magnitude. And 2 hours after sunset, Mars will come up. And it'll be possible to see all 5 of those planets if the sky is clear and Mercury hasn't already hit the horizon. But at least you'll be able to see the brighter ones. And the neat thing too is you'll be able to compare Mars with Jupiter and see that Mars is actually brighter, which is very unusual. Most of the time Mars is much more fainter, and it's actually around the brightness of Antares, which is in between Saturn and Mars right now. And Antares means the rival of Mars from the Greek, because Ares is Mars in Greek. So that'll be the highlight of the dark night. We'll be looking at these planets. And if it's anything like 15 years ago, Mars will dominate it, even though mostly it'll be just an orange disk. I remember from then we had like over 400 people come on the dark night. That's all we did was look at Mars. So we had the opportunity on July 14th and August 11th. And they're both about equally, opposite of the opposition in terms of days. So they'll get roughly the same kind of view in terms of how big it is. And Mars will be, comparable to the size of, it'll actually be bigger than Venus in the sky at that time, and maybe slightly smaller than Jupiter, and bigger than Saturn in terms of the magnification. Now, with all those planets around, the most interesting thing to see will probably be Saturn with the rings. That always is a good one, and its moons. Next will be Jupiter, because you can make out the bands, it's so big, and it's 4 moons. Mars, because, hey, normally it's just a faint little thing, and now they'll make it as a disk and maybe a polar cap, and who knows what else will be coming through. And if you come the 2 times, you'll see how the Death Storm is progressing. And if we look at Venus, we'll see it, as a bright little gibbous thing, but no detail. And Mercury, if we could point the scopes toward it, and it's not already in the haze, will be just a small circle. So, and then, throw in another planet, look straight down, you can see the Earth that night too. If we're up, Neptune would probably clear the horizon around 11 o'clock, and if there's still people there, it might be attempted, but that's probably more likely later on. But it's not too often when you get most of the planets. And that's just the planets. On Saturday also, the one-day old crescent moon is visible, and you can use it to find Mercury, because the moon will be just above Mercury. So if you can see the moon, at least if you've got binoculars, you might be able to spot Mercury before it sets. And a one-day crescent moon is kind of cool, because you'll see the dark part of the moon, and it's around the crescent, and you'll see the nice view through the telescope of that too. So, neglecting the solar system then, we could also look in the sky and see quite a number of objects. We'll see double stars like Alberio, which is a nice colored pair. We'll have like globular clusters like M13 to look at. We'll have the Ring Nebula, which is always a nice, bullseye type object in the sky of a star in its later phases. Galaxies will be visible. Star clusters like M11 will be visible. The Milky Way will be over. And so it'll be a nice night if it's clear. We're going to the monsoon season. If it does rain, well, at least we'll get some water out of it. I hope we don't get the worst case of clouds and winds and nothing. I've had cases like that. Our last dark night, we did have rain that weekend. That was in June, and so okay. August 11th, June 14th, I won't be there because I'm going to the Ann Wilson concert, but I'll be there at August 11th for sure. And so there'll be other people at Overlook Park, and you're all welcome to come from sunset till about midnight. And come if you can, stay as long as you want. That's about all I want to say about it. I want to give choice of time.
The date again, the date?
Okay, this Saturday, July 14th, will be Dark Night Overlook Park by the concession stand. And then August 11th, sunset again by the concession stand Overlook Park. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if any of you came to my planetarium show in June where I talked about the NASA Kepler spacecraft. This spacecraft has been in orbit since it's in an Earth-trailing orbit around the sun, actually, and it's been up since March of 2009, and it's been finding, if I can't pick that up with one hand, finding planets around sun-like stars. But I was going to use this as a prop, excuse me, to show you what it does. So, it finds planets by the transit method. So if this is a star, a distant star, and you are an observer out there, if the planet goes between you and the star's light dims a little bit as it's going by. So they see these planets going, if they happen to be in exactly the right line of sight, in front of the star, and then they can use a lot of other techniques to figure out how big the planet was, and they have to confirm it by other means, like looking at it from telescopes on Earth to do a confirmation. But by this method, they've discovered thousands of planets around other stars. And so far in those 10 years, they have discovered 2,244 confirmed planets and another 2,300 candidate planets. So about 2014, Kepler lost one of its reaction wheels, or like gyros, that would keep it pointing toward the same region of the sky for a long time so they could look for these planets to go in front of the stars. And they only had 2 reaction wheels left. So they had to change the mission and use the sun's radiation to keep the spacecraft from rolling on its axis. So it's using the sun kind of like a third stabilizer. But they also needed, because of this, to correct the roll every 6 hours with a little bit of fuel. So I found out last week that after these 2 gyros were lost, the spacecraft is running out of fuel. It had a low fuel warning. So they shut it off, unfortunately, about a week ago, and they're